All right, welcome back, everybody. You are watching TCH Live Tournament Final Table Edition. Welcome to our Sunday show. It is the $150 Mega Stack Freezeout, and we are broadcasting from near the surface of the sun here in Austin, Texas. Confirmed about 1,000 degrees today, but we are comfortable inside as our first hand here of the final table. Looks like we've got blinds about 2,000 and 4,000. And the opening raise here by Johnny, the old ace-3 offsuit, a couple of other marginal holdings, and top and bottom here for the pre-flop raiser. As here we go. Johnny's going to bet 22,000 here into the pot. And probably going to get everybody out here as many questions here in the chat. I will address it shortly here of our entries and all that good stuff. So hang on. Let's not ask the same question 30 times. I know we all want to get to the info. As going to be folded around to Aaron unless he decides he wants to feel kind of crazy here. As he's got the king of spades in his hand. If he does decide to maybe try to make a move on this pot. But Johnny ain't going anywhere. Johnny be good with threes full. And going to continue to bet it as I think Aaron trying to float this in case that, yeah, Johnny could continuation bet a ton of hands in the spawn, King X, Queen X, and just try to pick up the pot. And Aaron might feel like, okay, if it gets checked back here on the turn, I might be able to pick it up. But nonetheless, Johnny going to pick it up here as, all right, so today's $150 Mega Stack Freezeout. Our first place tonight, $1,980. Second place, $1,330. $1,330. Third place, $940. And fourth place, $700. So we are here to the final 9 players. We had 33 entries into this. And well, the prize pool of about $4,950. And we are down here to our final 9 with blinds. 2,000, 4,000 with a 4,000 big blind ante, as you see. Terry Hatcher. Got to the end here last week in this tournament. And back yet again, a terrific tournament player. As we give it a meet, going to raise up here with ace-jack. See him quite a bit as must be on the tighter side because you got a King 10X full or King 10 suited folded, and just gonna pick up the blinds and the ante. So how you guys doing? It is Sunday here at Texas Card House, and we're back in action here for the $150 Mega Stack Freezeout. We will be streaming these from here on forward. It has been actually since before the shutdown that we've been able to get the final table back and on the air. It's still been a pretty popular tournament for us. Not quite to where we were before the shutdown, where we're getting 60, 70 entries, but yeah, good 3-table tournament today here for our folks at the Texas Card House. So as always, feel free to leave us a line here in the chat. Smash that like button, click subscribe, especially if you're seeing us here for the first time. We're on the march here to 10,000 subscribers. We're almost there. It's about 1,260 more. As Aaron going to race up here in the button with a big stack. Little min click up, and Andy in the big blind is waking up with a pair of jacks. And expect the re-raise put in. And now we'll take it down just like that. So GDO asking, who is your favorite to win this? I got to relook at the chip stacks before I can make probably the best guess. I'm pretty sure it's between either Aaron or Terry. I think are probably the 2 favorites in this. Johnny in the mix as well, as he's a pretty good player as well. So Bill St. Juan, solid sponsor in Topgolf. Not sure what that means, but I do love some Topgolf. And Julius says, go Terry. Nick from Yuma, TCH Live, 2 hands up. Hell yes. Nick from Yuma, our most popular fan, I think. All right, 7 suited here for Terry. In the big blind is Ricardo. Decided to limp. And then Terry here with the 7 suited says no free cards. And going to go ahead and enter here into the pot with 7 suited. But a nasty flop for her to try to... If she probably had tried a continuation bet on this, she may have been able to pick it up. But nonetheless, Ricardo, the limp call. I'm not a very big advocate for that as far as, especially once we get here to a final table, it's, yeah, middle position to hijack. I think you should almost always be raising in these spots. Just, you know, a lot of winning tournaments is just being able to win without showdown and win pots uncontested. Well, that's the fun of this game. Often you can use any kind of strategy you want. Sometimes you get there. Welcome back, CJ. He's been on the final table here before. All right, so we've got a raise up here for Colby here in the cutoff. Reasonable king-queen. Going to fold out the blinds here until we get to the big blind for a mate. And with the Dan Grimes, a 9-5 off. Not going to be good enough to play. So, okay, for this tournament, players start with 30K starting stacks with 25-minute levels. Now, for an optional $10, you get a $10 appreciation for 5K in chips. You can also get a 5K on-time bonus. Just by being here by 2:25. We started this tournament about 2 in the afternoon. Lo and behold, I get the text that says, hey, we're here to the final table. Get your butt on up here and get on into the commentary chair. So back to be here on Sunday, or good to be back here on Sunday. All right, Ricardo limping here at the ace-9 offsuit. Aaron going to go ahead and play his position, raise up with a 9-8 suited. And going to get a call here as we go heads up. So about 45,500 in the middle. And that is going to be a perfect board here for Aaron to see bet on, as no matter what he holds here, it's a kind of board that misses your opponents quite a bit. You can see me there in the background right there, as before we got on the stream. This is on a 15-minute delay. I said, hey, guys, why don't you smile for a picture? I think that is like the only moment you've ever seen me actually here in the shadows of TCH Live. As you see our chip counts, Johnny, Aaron near the top. Ricardo and CJ near the bottom. So CJ less than 10 big blinds. And now posting here as gonna have to make some magic happen sooner or later. Yeah, shuffle up deal. Jordan here in the box. Dealer's working hard here on a Sunday. It was a busy weekend for us. It was pretty active room yesterday. As we've got a special running all month, again, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. No hourly fee here at Texas Card House. So if you want to come and play some cash games here in the afternoon, no hourly fee until 3. All right, some limping, and a perfect spot here for CJ. Out of the big blind to shove with a couple of 10s. That means probably going to call him. Yeah, going to be way behind. As really surprised he elected not to
Don't get a 7 again.
Just shove. I think there on the button would have been a perfect spot for him, but it works out as they're just going to get it in anyway. A set here for CJ, and 10's full, so he's going to double up and more. Here with some chips, with some limpers. He'll get his ante back. Jedi Master says board shorts and flip-flops don't qualify as seeing you. Yeah, I like to be mysterious. I'm kind of like that Well, who is that guy from Home Improvement? Wilson? You never saw his face? You could just peek his eyes up over the fence. I'm kind of going for that here at TCH, so the mask making it a lot easier. You know what I'm looking forward to, guys, when we start getting back to like sitcoms and movies and TV shows being produced and people intertwining the COVID-19 storyline within those.
Got in trouble earlier too.
And hopefully they'll be able to put that stuff in the past.
Come on,
But
man. First time?
see how the Hollywood writers and all that kind of stuff intermingle that storyline. I'm sure you guys are already tired of hearing about it. We all know what it's called. I had a friend of mine said we should start calling it Cornelius. Cornelius Vincent. Instead of calling it coronavirus, just so we have something else to call it. But here's going to be a shove by a meet, and Ricardo here in the big blind with Jack 10 offsuit. Do not know what a meet had, but good enough up. The old ace king, the old big slick. As there you see our chip stacks meeting Ricardo down to less than 20 big blinds. But everybody else right there within striking distance of Johnny and Aaron here at the top two chip stacks. So there you see our payouts. And we had 33 entries for this bad boy today. Invite you to come out here and play on Sundays. Make sure to bring your mask. Have yourself a good old time here at your favorite Texas card house. All right, does Amit limps with ace deuce. I don't love this, but Johnny is going to go ahead and raise it. And I mean, that's the problem right there, is that unless you're, I mean, here's the thing with limping late in some of these tournaments. There are some times you can do it, especially if you're against a very passive table across the board, that you're not going to get raised off of hands. There's a high probability that you're going to be able to take a flop, but I mean, you're kind of in a raise or shove mode, or raise, shove, or fold. There's maybe a handful of some suited connectors in late position, some suited aces, some Broadway combos that I think it's fine to maybe just try to limp behind, but we've seen it. Some players already get exploited early on. Aaron here going to raise out of the small blind with ace 10 suited. Terry had limp pre-flop. We don't know what she had, but I would probably guess some kind of suited or unsuited Broadway combo. Let's see if we can get those cards. Well, there we go. About the most reasonable assumption. If anything else, I think she's coming in here for a raise. Well, both players miss. Aaron's going to be the first one to take a crack at it, and Terry's not going to float. Pretty good sizing there by Aaron, as I think the most skilled player here on this table, but that doesn't always work out to winning and losing in this game, as we've often seen. Punisher Vic, what is the worst poker playing you ever seen in your lifetime? Boy, that is, it's tough to quantify that, because I would probably say every poker tournament I play on Bovada seems to be or Ignition. That seems to be where some of the worst poker is played. I'm going to have to think about that one, because that's a decent question. All right, Colby here to the small blind. Going to go ahead and raise it up and take it. So you'll see a fair amount of this here within the final table streams. Hey, sometimes players are just going to pick up the pot. And relatively deep stacked here as blinds 2.5K, 5K with a 5K big blind ante. So already starts with 12.5K in the middle. Johnny and Aaron there right near the top. Colby and Andy and Terry kind of right there in the mix as well. Sometimes all it takes, too, is one hand, and I don't like this either. Ace-7 offsuit under the gun. Limp. Ricardo should be coming in for a raise here, and there he does. We'll get a fold out, and yeah, I mean, if you're going to play a hand, especially up front, like, and I think we've seen a lot of tournament players implement that min raise or 2.5x raise that you can come in for. You can come in for 11, you can come in for 12.5, you can for 13, 14, 15,000 still be a pretty effective size raise. And I think once you're, especially when you're up front, it is so much about, you know, can you take control of the hand? Can you lead the tempo of it? And boy, there's a few situations there. It's like, boy, I would have liked to see a raise. And here you go, CJ, as limps here in middle position. Don't love it, but he's in kind of the spot where it's sort of fine to be able to do that. And Terry here with a pair of nines going to go ahead and raise up the price of poker up to 40,000. And going to drive out here CJ, so we'll pick up the pot. All right, so again, we'll try to repeat this often, but payouts $1,980 for first, $1,330 for second, $940 for third, and $700 here for fourth. Deal making is possible. It has certainly been done here in the past.
Not 40. No way. 40?
Oh, okay.
I just got these.
Well, breaking news from super producer Carolyn. We've extended the payout here to 5 places. So first will now be $1,880. Second will be $1,255. Third will be $890. Fourth place $675, and fifth is going to be $250. So just above min cash. You go home with a little bit of profit here today. If you finish on in fifth. All right, so Colby here at raising the hijack. Terry going to 3-bet here to 40. Here with 131, it's either raise or fold here. Here for Colby on the Rockets hat. Terry going to take it down as it's a $150 mega stack freeze out. My name is Mike Youngblood, aka Dude Talking. Very proud of that moniker, but again, Terry won a ladies event, a WSOP circuit event last year, the summer of 2019 in Choctaw. First place for $8,054. Part of the WPA, the Women's Poker Association. Highly active in that. Was on our ladies' night stream. Finished in the Final Four last weekend. I can't remember exactly how she finished because I clocked out by the time the tournament was done, but can pull up her Hendon-Bob database and has got a heck of a lot of great results. So we have Ricardo with a raise up here with Ace-King. Andy going to 3-bet with a mystery hand. Probably guessing 10s or jacks here in the spot. And we'll flip it on in. We'll see Ace-King against Kings. Well, better than 10s or jacks. So Ricardo's tournament life on the line. Could be the first bust out here if he does not get an ace. And it's going to stand. I've heard sometimes players feel lucky when they stand. But judging on his reaction here, the board did not come out in his favor. He did turn a gut shot, straight draw, and Ricardo has been eliminated here in 9th place. So we're down to 8-handed. Here on TCH Live. I don't know what you guys have been doing here today, but I know one thing that you need to check off on your to-do list, and that's hitting that like button for your boy Mikey. Click and subscribe. We're going to have 5-5, no limit uncapped tomorrow. And then we will have our Thursday 1-3 match the stack game. Saturday, we're expected to have our pot limit Omaha stream. Last I heard that was the plan anyway. Here on the 18th, and then back again here for the $150 mega stack Freezeout. So be a full week in store for us here. And I meet here with under 20 big blinds here with ace-5 offsuit here in the cutoff. And I think this is a shove. No, it is not, apparently. Yeah. Windows open here for Johnny to go ahead and raise this. And CJ here with King Jack going to defend here out of the small blind. Wouldn't be a terrible spot to just shoved into, as often the button's opening range is going to be very, very wide, especially with a big stack, as going to go ahead and shove in this top pair and pick up the pot. So CJ making a little resurgence. Great to be back here for Tournament Sunday. Dude talking, flying solo. So we've got our chat pros here in the house, here to question every move, but be part of the discussion. Again, if you're watching the archive, feel free to leave us a comment. Join the thousands upon thousands of TCH Live Nation by clicking that subscribe. So, I mean, it's going to shove all in. Colby here with Ace King, an auto call. And he's got Queen. So the Duke versus North Carolina of poker matchups. Ace King versus Queens. I mean, all in here for his tournament life. So here we go. All right. Queen still lead, and not no more as an ace turns. And Amina has been eliminated in 8th place. A tough final table here for him. And Colby is going to get to nearly 200,000. And that's going to bring us down to 7-handed here of our final table. Let's go. Now, this is definitely more my wheelhouse in cash games, so I can sit here with a little more authority and say, okay, this is most likely a good move or a correct move or incorrect move. And so I'm maybe a little bit more critical here in these spots. As I didn't really like him against limps. There was a couple of times I think he could have just been able to pick up the pot there, but no, you go back here to the game tape. I'll probably be back here next Sunday to try to take a shot at this. All right, so we have got Aaron raising from the button. Andy choosing not to defend here with ace-3 offsuit, and a little bit surprised by that, but I think maybe deciding that, okay, I can protect my chip position here, as no reason necessarily to tangle up with a big stack, because yeah, that's one of those situations that's relatively marginal, that it's like, okay, if you're up against an aggressive player that's just trying to pick up the blinds, you almost have to defend there like 70% of the time with a hand like ace-X offsuit. I don't dislike a fold, but the defense not all that either.
it doesn't work, then we can talk through it. Taking it off first.
Captain's manager says, Mike, you have to have CJ winning this tournament. I don't have to have anything, man. No, I'm kidding. I would probably say, Aaron and Terry probably have the skill edge. I think Johnny is also right there in the mix. Colby's. I don't think you'd have a bad player out of the bunch that's left over here as. All right, we're now actually to 6 players. My bad. I have been calculating that wrong. So Ricardo was finished in 8th. Amit finished in 7th. Hey, from Kobayashi. Maybe we'll just start streaming hot dog eating contests here at TCH. I think I have a pretty good shot at that, but I think it would be kind of gross to have to watch that. Andy gonna call here on the button. Scan your cards there, buddy. There you go. A reasonable A6 suited here with a deep stack and in position, and flat misses. So Aaron here with the best hand. Go ahead and see bet there, Aaron. Probably bet at least 30K. Not 35 or 40 as. Nice bet. And that should shove everybody out as. Unless Andy really wants to get tricky and float here and try to pick it up, but I don't think he's going to want to try to contend with the bigger stack as. And we'll go ahead and take her down. So again with our payouts, the next player will be on the bubble, or the next player will be the bubble as we're paying the top 5. 5th going to be $250, 4th $675, 3rd $890, 2nd $1,255, and first place $1,880.
How do you want me to calculate it?
Buy a lot of tacos with that, man.
You need to tell me exactly what you want to do.
So how much from each? So how much from
Let's do 175 and 50 and 25. Did that come out
All right, so
right?
Aaron here, the under the gun.
50 and 25.
Blinds 2,005 or 2,500 and 5K with a 5K big blind. Andy, the next level jump goes to 3,000 and 6,000.
No, it's here.
All right, Colby here with ace-10 offsuit here in the hijack. This is an auto raise, and I think he's going to go for 12. Going to go, what, 17? Yeah, I'm going to go for a raise about 17.5. Punisher Vic, do you have a favorite poker player? I still never really have an answer to this question. Like, it was kind of like Negroni when I was younger, but you know, I'm gonna go ahead and let Matt Berkey's my favorite player now, just because he just blew my mind when he came here to commentate with us here for the final table of our Solve for Why weekend. That might be. I really have enjoyed watching his streams. Solve for Why is really good content. Yeah, I don't know necessarily if I have a favorite. There's favorites that are like I love to watch here on the stream because they bring it. Maybe we can go through that here in a sec. So.
Yeah, Matt, just give me a heads up before the blind stream.
All right, King 10, Ace 8, 9, 7, shooted, and a open ender here for Andy. No player has connected with a pair, so Andy's going to take the first crack at it.
If you ask before, they might be able to put it on the TV tier, right?
30.
Yeah, just ask before.
Bet is going to pick up the pot here as McSquirrel saying, why is Terry folding ace jack versus a hijack? I don't know what hand you're referring to. Because the last hand did not get scanned, so I think you might be mistaken. Alright, I'm going to put the payouts here in the chat because it's going to get asked like a lot, so... Jedi Master Ted, this lady asked me who my favorite was just before quarantine. Without hesitation, I replied, me. And that's what we call confidence. Alright, as to the blinds, Colby goes flop top pair. Aaron's got no piece of it.
3,000, 6,000, 6,000.
And we will keep it moving on your favorite poker channel, TCH Live. I'm typing in the payouts here for y'all,
I don't know.
just so that I can copy paste this.
They've done it numerous times. I think it's
890.
now.
Oh boy. Alright, so there's your payouts. Again, first 1,880, second 1,255. Wow, I just got shouted out here by Nightbot. We gotta adjust those settings. Old Nightbot's coming after everybody. Don't forget, Nightbot, I own you. You work for me. Alright, so we got CJ raising up here for jacks. Isaiah Gonzalez says, Andy is my bro. A shout out. Hell yeah. Andy's going to 3-bet here to 45. CJ's going to shove all in. Both reasonable holdings. Pretty standard. CJ a big favorite here. And all he's got to do is fade an ace on the riv. And going to go ahead and miss it as Jack's going to ship it all.
See that coming? What happened?
Here as we're down to 6 players. Next player to get knocked out will be the bubble. Top 5 pays.
Yeah, for sure. Please lose, please lose, please lose.
So yet again, 1,880 for first, 1,255 for second, third is 890, fourth 675, fifth 250. We had $4,950 in the prize pool and 30 entries here into our $150 mega stack freeze out. What's going on, Moose Duty? Nick from Yuma, Justin C. Got Frosty. We got all the chat legends joining us here as Johnny Guan with a couple of ducks under the gun. Gonna go ahead to raise it up. CJ suited Jack 10 has been on the rise. Making a comeback here has started as one of these short stacks. And here we go, Jack 10 here versus deuces. And an open-ended straight draw here for CJ. Let's see if Johnny does c-bet here as... Probably what's going to happen is Johnny's going to bet this flop, CJ's going to call. It will probably freeze Johnny here on the turn. And then it'll be up to CJ if he pairs up, if he improves his hand. And, well, just will make the nuts. Johnny with no reason here to continue. And gonna put down a turn bet. And pretty easy decision here for Johnny. It just takes a slight dip, and yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate part about tournaments too, is you get to this stage. Unless you're really super deep, sometimes you can make one pre-flop raise and one continuation bet and can take a fairly healthy chunk out of your stack. So you do have to pick your spots. And that's generally why in late position, once you go,
Started with, what's his name with the 10?
you know, hijack, cut off, and then button. I mean, the less quality your hand has to be to come in for a raise just to try to pick up a pot is. All right, min raise. Not just above min raise here for CJ as he'll pick up the line. So CJ out a heater right now.
Probably good.
After you put it in 12, I was thinking in my head, now it's 6.
Again, don't forget to hit that like button. About 8,000, what, 720 subscribers? Is that where we're at? Yep. Again, turn on notifications so if you want to watch this on Sundays. This is probably going to be the start time that we'll see consistently. Around that to 6:30, 6:45 Central Time. Usually sometime between 6 and 7. Usually a little bit later if we get a ton of players into it. As we see our V-pips there as tyranny at the bottom. But no, I mean, this is kind of irrelevant numbers here at this point. Those don't have a huge sample of hands to really measure all of this by, so. Keno Savage says, I want to check this place out in San Antonio. They have any free rolls? Yes. On Wednesday, we do a free roll with $20 rebuys and add-ons for Hold'em, and on Fridays we do Pot Limit Omaha. The great game, as Joe Ingram says incessantly, the great game of Pot Limit Omaha. On Fridays, both of those tournaments start at about 7 o'clock. For more details for blind structures and all that, check out our website, texascardhouse.com. So we have had a min raise by Johnny. Aaron going to defend here with 3-deuce offsuit. He has made bottom pair. In bluff catch mode as he's going to check call here as. And I think if Aaron, I'm going to get a pair up. I was going to say if Johnny misses here and gets a check back, Aaron can probably safely assume that his deuces were best, but Johnny turns second pair. He's way out in front now, and Aaron's going to go ahead and lay it down. Ethan says, I bet dealers hate working tournaments. No, I wouldn't say necessarily. It's, I mean, I definitely like the cash game environment. It's also just, yeah, hey, if you've got a fun group of players on the table, it can be good. My biggest thing is, do you know how to post your blinds? Do you know to post your big blind ante? Do you know it's your turn to act? You do all of those things, you're a dealer's dream. But if we have to constantly like tap the table for everything, post your blind, please. Your turn to act, sir. Your turn to act, miss. It's your turn to act. Like that kind of stuff really chafes at me. We're here to help you, obviously, but Yeah, those are the only things that I'm like, I don't. This kind of irritates me a little bit. So
Remember those 60,000.
just make sure to practice good etiquette when you're on the table. Make sure you know what's going on. If you need help, you ask questions. We're always here for you. So Colby and Johnny both flop top pair. This could be a trouble spot here for Colby Jack Cheese. Kobayashi. Yeah, there's a bet of 22K, and Colby's only got 3 outs unless he turns any potential straight draws. Definitely at least worth calling here, but he's going to decide to put in a raise. Well, we do, to go along with the paper we do make some tips off at tournaments, so it is not, it is not so bad a deal. And, you know, sometimes we do all right just on there, so I don't think anybody hates it per se, but just like the things I mentioned, it's just like, hey, as long as you got a table with good etiquette, the action's moving, you know, you're pretty well fine with everything. Well, the board pair is 5, so king's up for both players, meaning any card above a 10 is going to be a chop. So if we see a jack, queen, king, or ace on the river, there's going to be a split, or obviously another 5 too. So Colby going to go ahead and lead the turn. Johnny calls. And a queen on the end, so we have the split pot. It would not surprise me if it goes check here. Still flipping on over. Would have been probably an interesting spot for Johnny to draw or to try to make a river bet, because he's got the king of spades in his hand. You know, it's bad for Colby because he does not have a spade in his hand, so he does not really have any information to dwell upon that. Okay, he called the check raise on the flop, called the bet on the river, and then the spade gets there like it's... I mean, Johnny could have been feared that he could have been getting trapped there, so... well, I mean, that's... And the folks talking about dealers and tournaments. Well, I mean, that's why we, like a lot of card rooms, will add the dealer appreciations on it, so that, hey, if you wanted just a little extra on your stack and show some love to the dealers, like, that helps a ton. It's almost a no-brainer that if you show up to get that dealer appreciation, just for a peace of mind, good karma, and help us out here, we're working hard. Andrew Vadine, Poker Vlogs. So I've had to deal with first-time players in Houston, free rolls. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Everybody's got to start somewhere. So I'm way more empathetic to somebody who hasn't played much before and they want to learn, and it's like, this is all new. Like, that's acceptable. That's 100% acceptable, because it's like, my problem is when it's folks that have played quite a long time, that don't really have any excuses. So, like, that chafes me a little bit more. And, you know, hey, sometimes you have good days and bad, so I'm not here to crap on anybody that... But, I mean, that covers it. I'm very, very accepting as far as... And most people are here as far as... You're a first-time player, you have questions. You may not know how all this goes, but... And they should not get any ridicule for that. But it's just kind of like, hey, if you're... been playing a long time, you're a well-experienced player, you should know well enough to pay attention. All right, so 3-of-a-kind aces here for Andy. Every other player has got a piece of it. As Colby with the jack-high flush draw. Aaron has second pair. And I think Colby for sure going to at least take one card here. Let's see what happens here on the turn. Is this pot going to be big enough that Andy probably going to be in shove mode here on the turn or river. I'd probably guess he's going to go like 55K as far as that goes. He might go a little bit under that to try to induce, as Colby has got a pair and a flush draw. Bet at 35, and that should be enough to bring Colby in for one more straight. As still thinking here as Colby probably realizing here if his opponent's got a jack, as jacks, I mean it's just it's flush or bust here as. He's got 6 outs here to the river. And the 9, not going to be one of them, so ace is full, Andy. Ace is full for Andy. He's going to shove his last 98K in, and I can't foresee Colby calling here. I mean, at best, he's beating Queen Jack, King 10, King Queen. Or up against the higher flush draw. I think the fact that he has clubs doesn't help his cause here. That I would be really surprised if he called this here. He's kind of making it look like a bluff, but he's feeling sticky here. He's a little stubborn. So you believe his jack might be good. I mean, I guess maybe. I don't think he would shove like 10s on the end. He's got to be thinking, okay, why would my opponent bet into me? Not just on the flop turn, but barrel the river here. Like it's either like Chatter says here. It's either miss flush draw or the goods. But he's counting out chips, though. See if he can get a read on his opponent, but I'll answer a question here. It's wow, he's really gone to the tank here. I think it's kind of easy from us, for our perspective. We can obviously tell it Andy's completely full here. Ace is full of 9s. We'll answer Moose Duty's question here as soon as we get to either a call or a fold. Gonna give it up. All right, so Moose Duty, our friend Moose Duty says, worst experiences I've had is with just a few players who are habitually constantly angle shooting, cheating, and you know it, but have to argue with and are called the floor over nonsense. We don't run into them too often here, as usually, I mean, as a dealer, I've been here for close to 3 years now. I know most of the players. I can generally get a good feel as to, okay, this person knows what they're doing. This person maybe not have a ton of experience, and this other player might be somebody who can do some tricky stuff. I mean, there is some angle shooting you could do as far as like bet placements where you stack different colored chips, and the player across the table might not see a huge nomination chip there with them. But I mean, you always your job as a dealer is just to try to stay on top of that. So I think everybody here does great as far as being able to keep that stuff in line and make rulings on the table and just get a head start on it. So yeah, I mean here in Austin it's not so bad. I can imagine in Houston there might be some more might be some more tricky folks. Well, what do you think about time cards, shot clocks, big blind antes? All great to speed up the game. Yeah, the big blind ante I like. Antes across the table are
I
so.
was about to make it 12, and I was like,
It's just man, it's just agonizing to try to get
do you
antes
remember
from
when
like
you did
10
me earlier, you did
players.
40 grand. I had ace-x suited. Wasn't.
Because it's not like a thing you're used to habitually doing as a poker player.
No racing each other's blinds.
Yeah.
Is to be able to put those in every hand. And then if you don't have enough, like 100 chips, you got to make change. It's a lot. So
Yeah, there you go. That was the good one. That was
the big blind ante I think is a big help. And like I said, when we play bigger buy-in tournaments, like the speed is almost never a problem.
Yes.
So I mean, you get players with the most experience level, like you just get to crank out hands, hand after hand after hand. So
I don't know where I got this from, but
it can make the time go by.
Blue like everybody else.
Shot clocks, I think they're. I wish it was an easier thing to implement across the board. I think maybe for final, but I mean it's like if you play at a final table, do you really just want to not have the option to be able to make a big decision? So then you're going to have like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different tables with shot clocks on it. It is a better idea, I think, in theory than it is execution. And it's yet another thing a dealer has to be on track of. And that is cost that comes to the players too. So like, why is the juice up a little bit more? It's like, well, we got to pay for shot clocks and all that kind of stuff. All right, so okay, all right. Payouts here: $1,880 for first. Second is $1,255. Third, $890. Fourth place, $675, and fifth, $250. The next player that gets knocked out will be the bubble. FST, hey commentators. Well, I'm just one commentator. What is your thoughts on young Preston, aka P-Dog? Where's P-Dog at? I don't know if P-Dog played this. Seems pretty good. Seems like a young guy, like a really super young dude. So seems to know what he's doing. He got really unlucky in our 1-3 game. He was sitting in like seat 7 or 6, and there was another guy. I think it was Alex. I try to remember what his name was. Sitting in seat 1. Seat 1 had 5s. P-Dog had 8s, and Guy Rivered like 5s full on him. And
I miss Mr. Hero Call guy.
other than that, when I've seen him, it seems like he knows what he's doing. Yeah, fire off the questions. Make sure to hit the like button. Click subscribe. You can share the link as well. Get the word out here about TCH Live. Sundays are back. The $150 Mega Stack Freezeout Final Table can be a part of our streaming schedule here every Sunday. All right, everybody misses, so CJ is going to pair as Jack. Kind of a scary board for him, but Colby does pick up a flush draw with the deuce of diamonds, but and if we go to showdown and nobody bets, Colby's going to win it here with this deuce of diamonds. Flips it over with authority, and the deuce is way good, as CJ will show us Jack, but
Better than you, though.
Fistiver, McSquirrel. Okay, let me try to replay here as to why somebody would fold Jack 10 suited. Is that
Maybe I'll more than that, but there's nobody that's.
Just re-looking at the. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Andy would have folded a Jack 10 suited there, but it's not. It's not the worst fold because you're also playing ICM here. That like if you just don't want to tangle with somebody, that could hurt you too. Before the money bubble gets here, I think that's the biggest part of it is that we're on the money bubble right now. So some decisions
It's always.
that would be pretty irrational otherwise can tend to just make more sense here.
Yeah, it's weird for them though, because obviously it's not right in front of them. Like,
Moose Duty at Dude Talking. How long have you been a dealer? I've been a dealer here at TCH for 3 years. Is Colby gonna flop bottom pair? I was a dealer for about 5 years in underground games in Wisconsin, mostly in like Omaha and Pot Limit Omaha and Limit Omaha. And so like I had a pretty big background in the Omaha games because just with the group of players I played with played a lot of. I was not classically trained. TCH really had to fix a lot of things that some really crappy habits I had. Because nobody really teaches you. You just kind of learn on your own. You might get some tips here and there. So all in all, probably like 7 or 8 years. 3, I think, more legitimately. Is Andy with a double gutter going to go ahead and bet it. Big Squirrel says, I know they're on the bubble, but Coldy and Amber are deep. Yeah, I understand that, but it's... Like I said, it's a tight fold, but for ICM applications, it's not. I don't necessarily sit there and say, like, I'm going to bash this guy for 5 minutes straight for making a fold. That's my opinion. Terry down to 11 big blinds. See if we can find her a shove in hand. Justin saying PLO kills no limit hold'em games. Maybe. I guess in what context those. Aaron got a button raise here with ace-7 offsuit. Andy here with ace-10 and absolutely going to call. He could definitely 3-bet here if he wanted to, but he'll keep the pot small as both players miss. And yeah, this is kind of one of those spots where I guess if Andy 3-bets here, Aaron probably folds pre-flop, or if he does call, he can see a bet and probably take this one down. As C-bet works here for Aaron. PLO gives me a headache. PLO kills no limit hold'em games. Houston is the place for PLO. Well, I mean, obviously for Pod Limit Omaha, you have to have a bigger bankroll because it's just a higher variance game. So, like, you can't have the same kind of bankroll rules for Pod Limit Omaha as you do for No Limit Hold'em. So I think that's a mistake people make is, well, they'll just take their chances on it and wonder why they go broke. So generally, players that are more secure financially, those games are going to continue to go, but if the stakes get too high, then the money can dry up pretty quickly, depending on where you're at. But Houston, I'm sure there's no shortage of. Pod Limit Omaha 8 or better, and Big O maybe a little bit less on the variance side, just because you've got the split pot element to it. So I'm not sure if that's mathematically a fact or not. That's just my assumption. As King 3 here for Johnny. 3 kings, CJ. No pair, no backdoor draws, no nada, nothing. Squat douche. And like, I don't think Pod Limit Omaha is a hard game to learn. It's just that the hand reading element takes some time just to try to piece together, okay, what would a player be potting with here? What position can I plan to try to bluff a little bit? Because all that stuff that somewhat comes normal to you with the volume that you get with no limit hold'em it gets a little bit more complex. But I mean, it is just, hey, play good hands. Don't overcommit to marginal ones. Leave yourself some backdoors, some backups. Especially in pot limit Omaha 8 or better, it's just like you gotta have backups on backups to keep yourself in the pot. I would have liked to see Terry maybe shove here, but the complete's not bad either. As here we go, check call. He's got Johnny drawing completely dead to runner. There you go. Ooh, there's a straight. Oh, a high end of the straight here for Terry. A bottom end of the straight here for Johnny. Terry is going to double up as it went bing, bang, boom here on the edge. He led and then got raised. Johnny thought he was going to have his straight on the bottom end was going to be good. And a good double up there for Terry Hatcher. There we go.
9 high like a boss.
Jason Hollister asking, do you make mask mandatory out there? The state of Texas and the city did. I mean, we were mostly requiring it, but I think until the city stepped in and said to everybody, like, hey, no messing around. Everybody's got to wear the mask. So once that's happened, everybody's wearing it. I think we've seen our numbers of people and players go up a little bit more just because you probably feel a little bit more secure knowing that, you know, hey, all of the room is wearing a mask and not just like half of it. So Robin Martinez, PLO is where it's at. Houston, shout out Fireman Scott, hashtag the GOAT. Again, join us on Saturday. We will have the Fireman Scott PLO hosted stream yet again. All right. Colby had limped here with a couple of trays. CJ checks his option. Bet, and we'll take it down as we'll move it along. Our payouts here, top 5 places paying, 5th 250, 4th 675, 3rd 890, 2nd 1,255, and 1st place 1,880.
Oh, yeah.
So here in the final 6, the next player that busts will be the bubble. We're on about a 15-minute delay here for our final table. Ethan, there were Jedi Master Ted's just talking about when I deal PLO. I try to figure out what all the numbers are, blah, blah, blah. Ethan, players that ask for pot when they have $75 behind. Like that is always pretty classic. Like, what's the pot size number? Like, dude, your stack size is like a 5th of what's in there. Just put it in the middle, buddy. All right, so Colby had raised under the gun here with King Queen offsuit. Aaron trying to decide what his re-raise is going to be. This is a really, really tricky spot here, too. It just says, you know what, I'm just going to jam it in here. Take no chances. Put my opponent to the test for all their chips. Don't give them the chance to put a 4th bet in. Obviously, we could see that Aaron would have wanted that, but here on the bubble, this is usually just a good time to just jam it in there and see if you can get your opponent to call with less. Colby going to give it up here as Aaron's still going strong. Johnny started as one of the top players in chips here on this final table. Is whittled down a little bit as Terry now about just under 20 big blinds, but she's been there, done that. Really, really terrific player. Very patient. Not going to get too crazy. It should make for some continually good final table actions. We're down to six-handed. 203 Big D says, "What's up, Mike? Oh, just living the dream. Back here in the TCH live studio. I got shorts and flip-flops on. As casual way as you get to work, guys. I love this job, so the fact that we can mix in some tournament stuff here is, hey man, I'm all good for that. Colby here with some sixes as Aaron completes out of the small blind. And gonna jack this one up here as a raise to 34,000. Aaron cannot call, so go ahead. Moose Duty, interesting confrontation at the liquor store Saturday when a guy refused to wear a mask and then was told to leave. Came back in with a Confederate flag bandana to cover his face. All hell broke loose. Where was this? Yeah, I get depressed every time I see one of those mask freak out videos. Like, I guess I'm sort of glad that we have the ability to capture all this, so we can point out bad actors and people that generally make this worse for everybody. But it just makes me sad that we have people like this, that the Costco freak out dude, the Target freak out lady in Arizona. Like, there's been no shortage of freak out videos since some of these mask requirements have come out, and nobody ever looks good in these ever. Like, there's never been a moment where you're like, yeah, that I support this person completely acting like a jackass. Top pair here for Aaron. Colby here with second pair. Aaron the pre-flop razor. I'd probably bet I would probably bet like 22K here, and then no, he's gonna check back. Ooh, interesting check. Let's see if Colby goes for the bat here as Aaron laying a trap. Hailstorm, you should not be forced to wear one. That's their choice. Well, if more people were making the choice to look out for others, then there would be no forcing anyone to do anything. Unfortunately, we have people who act like 12-year-olds and says, no, Dad, no, Mom, I'm not going to do it. I defy it. And that's why we're in this spot. If people were just responsible to begin with, then we wouldn't have these problems. But you know, they claim your freedom while just making things worse for everybody. I have a huge problem with that. Colby, though, going to bet 45. I don't think Aaron's got a big problem with that either, as he has got three-of-a-kind aces. Just going to call just in case his opponent backdoored flush. And his trip ace is way good here. Moose Duty says West Texas could have recorded it, but don't care to ruin someone's life over a yeah. I mean, some of that is just like, you know, people got to learn, especially West Texas. You get to that Midland, Odessa, you know, that kind of territory is a very much don't tell me what to do. Nobody gonna tell me what to do kind of types. And, you know, hey, God bless them. That's why they have their own space out there in West Texas, but yeah, hey, I want kids to go back to school. I want people to be able to come back to work. I want you all to be able to come back here to TCH and not have to wear a mask and everything be safe. But until we can get the cases to stop spreading so much, you know, that is. All right, here we go. As King 7, King Colby has flopped two pair of Terrys. Here with the big blind with 6 high, just going to go ahead and give it all up. CTLD Confederate flag is considered a representation of faith. Well, I mean, I think that here's the thing. That there are people out there that don't recognize that it is, and there are some that absolutely do. Everybody's got different interpretations on it, so that's the problem is you have that sort of communication breakdown as to like, hey man, this is Southern pride. Like it's it is just, you know, like the original Confederate flag was a stars and bars. Like it was not what you see that's touted around currently. So it's a very complicated thing, and I would rather kind of stay on poker. But it's just one of those things that catches my eye that I'm like, hold on, let me try to interject here so that at least we can try to get on the same page.
He's like, man, I know I got it right this time.
All right. Terry has got top pair ace and fives, way good in front of everybody. As CJ, the only hope here was to make it back for clubs or straight draws. And Andy gonna bet his position here. Try to pick this one up. Oh no, Terry, you can't. No. I'm a little surprised there, but might have think that in his limping range had a better ace or possibly a 5x, a 5-6, 7-5, any of those kind of deals. But yeah, I think Terry's definitely put in a shove all in or fold mode.
He's like, well, you get that information.
Me studying one man's flag of heritage, another man's expression of racism, states' rights. Don't necessarily agree, but it's freedom of speech. I'm all about freedom. Yeah. We have the freedom to debate and argue these things, and I think the cross becomes, you know, when it's the people's right to say, hey, we as the people don't like this, and if the majority of people say, hey, we don't like this, like how many people do you need for it to be disregarded? That's my only question out of it. It's like, yeah, we have freedom. We shouldn't ignore the freedom of people to say, hey, enough.
Position with an ace.
So that's my take on it. All right, who's going to win the tournament? I like Aaron right now. He's not made a really bad decision at all.
Didn't check again.
Like, probably the best. He's the best player with chips. Andy's on a good run here, though, so. CJ's right of the mix. He's going to need a double up or a significant pot, though. Is going to call out of the small blind, blind versus blind. Aaron here with the ace-king. Go ahead and raise it on up. CJ might defend this. This is kind of a gross spot to be in, as you want to play this, but you would rather be in position with a player with less chips, but nonetheless we'll take a flop. Gonna flop tens and deuces. 60K in the middle, gonna go ahead and lead at it. I think he's, unless Aaron decides he wants to float here. He knows a 10x is definitely a hand that a blind can limp and then call with in tournaments here at the stage, so he does not have any blockers or anything, so Neppy's just going to go ahead and shove it. Inadvertent stop and go. Probably going to be out of here for Aaron. I just can't see him. There's just no draws, but it's going to think it through just in that off chance maybe CJ has got like a suited spade combo that... Yeah, I mean, you can go ahead, hit the like button, click subscribe. Folks, I am on a mission. I think about this every day. I try to get to 10,000 subscribers. I think I get like a plaque in the mail. They give me like tickets to every concert, and like you get special perks. You get into an elite club. I think I will get hand-fed grapes by a special hospitality group. I don't know what happens, but a 10K is a really good even number, so go ahead, click subscribe, smash that like. Join us here for Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays on your favorite poker channel, TCH. All right, Aaron here to the small blind, and gonna raise it up here 25K, as probably will get Colby to fold this one out. Connor Jolly says, I will like videos you say you'll bring back Austin. We'll bring back Austin. I don't know what that means, but I'm easily duped into things that will get likes. That is... Oh boy, we got the stat. I had a post about this on Facebook because it just was irritating to the point. Here's the thing about the statues. Nobody wants to go see them. They're on government public grounds. They're boring. They're very expensive to maintain because they wear down over time. They're not really that interesting, and who is it for? Like, that's the thing I don't understand. You're tearing down history. Well, that's what school's for. That's what books are for. You can go on YouTube to find history. Like, nobody's going to a statue or a monument that was made 75 years ago and getting like an accurate depiction or story based on some guy who was a Confederate traitor. That's my point. Is if you want to learn history, there's a million podcasts, there's YouTube videos, there's all sorts of different things to name it history. Like, that's the part of it that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's for history. Like, for who? Who is studying this? Who really cares? Like, were you camping out there? Were you taking your families there on Sunday? Like, check out this Robert E. Lee statue. Get a load of this. The kids sit in front of it and run around it for hours. Like, nobody. All right, we'll raise up here by CJ to 22K. And go ahead and take the blinds.
No, it was yours. I looked up and I felt so
Thank
bad. I was like, damn, it's there.
But my kind of rule is that, like, if you're mad about any of the ones, I think there's like extremes, like the real founding fathers, where like, people's viewpoints change over time, and like we should address those and do that as appropriately as possible. But the ones that I think there are some that are in the South that were designatedly made to intimidate people of color. Like, that literally happened. Like, people did that in the 60s or 70s. Like, that stuff should come down. I think some of the other ones are up for debate and are up for people and communities, councils, and all that kind of stuff to decide those things. So I don't want to argue with you guys because I know you might not all agree with me on here, and you're tired of woke culture. I get it. Like, that's fine, but like, just try to have a little empathy and a little understanding on this, because that's all I got to say about that.
What about a Happy New Year? Well, let me go ahead and second that.
All right, we got to raise up here by Andy up to 21,000. Now Johnny going to shove here with Ace Jack suited, and that will be for his turn of the play. Because CJ going to be paying to fold the Ace-6 suited. Yeah, I agree here with the Falcon, man. People freak out about someone sharing a viewpoint at a very boring part of the tournament where it's going to be a monster versus monster. Yeah. We've got time to discuss some of these things. So, Andy here with the instant call. As we actually have a What? What? I might just walk out of this booth right now. That just happened. I cannot believe I just saw that there.
Not for everything.
You never fold jacks in that spot. Ever.
I'm not saying, I was going to say next hand. Lord, everybody. Y'all should focus on getting some chips.
Oh, dang.
Dagger. I'll focus on yelling. It's next hand.
That is, oh boy.
Yes.
Lions be trying. It's your fault for bringing politics into poker, dude. Seriously, we deal with it enough. Poker. Well, I mean, it comes up in the chat and somebody says something really ridiculous. Then I'm going to call you out on it.
Prices, that's crazy.
All right. We are at 5,000.
I am not the one that brought it up. This was brought up here within the chat, so.
Yeah, if you see it go up.
Yeah, I just can't.
It's perfect. Everybody just.
I cannot believe we folded jacks there. Like that's.
I think he's going to try and help come by and keep tabs on it too.
Cannot believe that. I still am just shocked. All right, we got to raise up here by CJ with some eights. Again, I can only talk about politics if you agree with me. If you disagree with somebody, then it's in poor taste, apparently.
Wasn't.
That's how we deal with discourse. I will only allow talk unless I agree
Not
with
good.
it.
Obviously not good enough to rush my tournament.
All right, we've got a raise up here by CJ with eights, and then a suited jack six here by Colby. Gonna have a bet at 45. I'm gonna go ahead and take it down.
Such a stupid rate.
The hands are playing
Basically a min rate.
I raise and you push and then I pull.
You calling my min raises stupid?
Yeah, again, 5 places paying. Fifth, 250. Fourth suit, 675. Third, 890. Second, 1,255. And first, 1,880. We had 33 entries into this for a prize pool of $4,950. As we keep moving. Johnny gonna raise up your pre-flop. Yeah, go ahead and take down the blinds. No, I was being sarcastic, Christian. That is. People love your opinions if they agree with it. They hate your opinions if they disagree with it. And that is how the game works. So as we continue now, blinds 5,000, 10,000 with a 10,000 big blind ante. So 25K here in the middle, and Colby with an insta shove here with kings. And nobody there to call him with, as we'll pick it up and move on here to the next hand. This is a $150 mega stack. Freezeout is your $10 dealer appreciation. There's a $20 tournament entry fee, and then there's a so 5K for a $10 dealer appreciation, another 5K for on-time bonus if you get here between 2:25 Central Standard Time. Lions be trying still. You keep forgetting that it's poker live cast, not a political view. Well, I stopped talking about it. You're the one that are still going on. Yes, we've got a raise here by Terry all in here for 93K. It's kind of a speculative one here for Johnny. It's going to cost him just under about half his stack to call with Queen Jack. You're at best flipping here, rarely dominating a hand. It gets a little bit more playable as the shorter you get.
Jack. We should have put jacks.
Only because you've earned that fold.
Earn the fold.
Go ahead and pick it up, Terrence. Terry, just about 11 bigs. Colby, 8 bigs. Johnny, about 20 bigs. Aloha to V. Chat regular. Yeah, I still just can't get over the fact Andy folded jacks there. I mean, regardless of the fact that we could see what the hands are, like it was just like if your opponent literally does have queens, kings, or aces, you just gotta say good luck to you.
I'll show.
Not saying, but it's CJ here with a raise. Now, there's a spot where I talked about where I think it's okay to limp on the button where Terry's position is. You're short, you don't necessarily want to shove with that hand. And that sometimes you can limp on the button if you kind of feel like the opponents may not raise you off it. But, yeah, hey, both the players had reasonable hands. There you go, Hailstorm. I disagree with many views I've heard, but I still like to enjoy the program. There you go. Ace 4 suited versus Jack 8.
What's the rate? Oh wait, no, sorry, 27.80.
All right, check.
Yeah, I can't raise it. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, yeah.
Aaron is going to go ahead and bet it here with overcards. Well, I mean, it's just CJ with ace high, so. Again, next player will be the one that bubbles. Top 5 places pay $1,880 for first.
I think you're just going to bleed down to 2 chips.
Jesus. Toxic. Oh, no. Really?
I'm going to needle somebody as soon as it's finished.
There's a raise up here by Andy up front. We do not know what he has. Colby here with the 7 deuce. And not playing the 7 deuce game here on the final table, so I'll go ahead and get it pumped up.
You may have been live.
You're old.
I'm not sure about that.
7 dudes, man.
It's 33 entries today, prize pool of $4,950. We do this every Sunday. It's a $150 mega stack Freezeout. You get a ton of chips, 30K starting stacks, and 25-minute levels. 10-minute break at the ends of level 6 and 12. So you're allowed to enter up until level 7. So if you're one of those, you play until 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and you want to get your beauty rest in and get yourself a good lunch, you can come on in until level 7. And with the dealer appreciation, you can still start with about 35K, which 1K, 2K effective by that point. Yeah, you're in kind of push or shove mode, but still have a pretty good chip position at 25-minute levels. Straight 512 says, I think it's a mask and sanitizer here to the winner. Mask and sanitizer to the Bubble Boy, says that Falcon Man. Yen 33 entries, prize pool of 4,950. So, and this is a freeze out, no re-entries. And that's been a good source of debate here within the poker community as far as like, okay, what's the deal with or re-entries killing the edge or killing the fun out of the game? Because that is kind of really agitating. Like if you're going to play a bigger buy-in tournament and a pro that can has like 10 bullets for this and you have one, I've been really supportful of ideas that say like online you should be cutting off some of the re-entries. We've got a shove here though by Colby here on the cutoff. And Johnny here should be calling as he will. So Kobayashi. Johnny here going to, well, at least a draw here as both players have 2 pair. And aces and kings good as Colby unfortunately has been eliminated in 6th place. We are down to our final 5. Everyone is in the money. Next place to get knocked out will take home $250.
She said no excuses, bro.
So here we go. Maybe we'll Terry is going to be on the bud. She's got less than 10 big blinds, so if it gets folded to her, I'm probably pushing any 2. But
You said York. You said. Oh. Come on. We knew he had the ace, right?
we shall see.
Now it's just. So now it's just what? Standard ship? No?
Okay.
Dude, come on. You know I would have just seen it. Alright, well, I dominated. I had 2.
We're going to fold as we'll fold down here to the blinds.
I'm sorry, yeah, he was, it folded around to the small blind, raised, the big blind folded. No, she just missed all the action.
Keep moving on TCH Live.
And I was talking to you and not telling her what was going on.
Tournament final table edition that we will do every Sunday from here on out. Tomorrow, the 5-5 no limit, uncapped. That should be a fantastic one. Thursday will be the 1-3 match of stack, and then Saturday will be pot limit Omaha, and then back to the sun. So I've got a full week here, guys. So this is non-stop dude talking here for you. Don't forget to hit the like if you want to use the super chat, super sticker function. We've got a 10 high flush draw here for Andy, 7s and queens. Here for Aaron, he's got the best hand, but it is a coin flip.
In my head, I was like, no queen, and then he made it straight. And then the next card came out, I was like, okay, now queen will be okay, because he's dead, but actually a jack makes it fold.
And now a full house here for Aaron, as now Andy can only win with a 10 or 9. I was check and an ace on the end, so I would probably guess, unless Andy really sizes up for this if you try to bet. Yep, Aaron is going to go ahead and take this one down. Stephen McIntyre says played at Seminole Hard Rock this weekend. Good to be back. He escaped from my porch apparently, so his spot where he usually watches. So glad you're able to find your way back there to the Seminole Hard Rock. Instead of hanging and knocking outside my window, saying, turn it up, turn it up. A long recurring joke that we've had with Steven here on this program. So,
We're going to start shoving now after we fold it. It was just between the 2 of you to see who was, unless one of us is going to go crazy.
Hold on 1 second.
Terry's going to shove here as our system loads, loading.
Okay. It's a 70, 76. Can you all just rescan
Yep, king 10 suited reasonable. Andy has got a hand that he's getting a little bit shorter here, so this is a little more costly. Like if he loses this, he's down quite a bit. And Terry will pick up the blinds and the ante. Bought herself around.
Coming in, good luck. Fun
Yes.
Now 10 bigs. All right, got Tyler coming on in. He's got a dealer change. We had Matt in there before, so. Again, 5-5 tomorrow night. Feel free to join us here on TCH Live. We start that at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Every Monday, 5-5 on Cap. Thursday, 1-3 Match the Stack. Saturday, PLO, and then Sunday, the $150 Mega Stack Freezeout. So I got a lot of broadcasting planned this week. It looks like. I think I'm gonna give. We'll have Bart Hansen take over at some point here for. I think giving him the green light to do it on the 20th.
For whatever reason, I thought.
Go get some hours in, do some shows.
You bluffed me too.
Sure the old rent is covered here for next month.
Well, that's the
We're
delay.
gonna have a raise up here by Aaron.
Yeah, that was the delay. Probably that's probably what there is live right now.
Raising full. Nick from Yuma, Stephen McIntyre, would you mind unlocking me from Youngwood's basement? Sorry, Nick. We've talked about this. It's not safe yet. You gotta hold it down there, buddy. You gotta be brave. You gotta be strong. You can will your way. I don't even have a basement. I moved into a new apartment this week, so there's. I wish there was one though, but I think because of how it is in Texas, like you just can't. Like in the Midwest, like it's very easy because the soil's good enough that you can get pretty deep, and at least that's been my understanding on it. But here down in the South, I've not encountered too many people with the lower level housing because it is a pain in the butt to apparently be able to build. So I could be 100% wrong, and you guys can go ahead and correct me on that. I won't get too butthurt about it. I won't drone on about the same point even. All right, so we got CJ raising and fold. We'll fold out. That's right, Steven says, yeah, hold on, Mike's got pretty good beer in the fridge. I do, actually.
That's crazy, but you're in.
Might not be a bad time to have
Good.
some.
Yeah, but think about it. Imagine
Sunny
if
and
you would've
steamy
had
here
your
in Austin,
ace, jack, or
Texas.
whatnot jam, someone has aces or kings, and then you're out.
A good amount of humidity has made it feel like 110. Temperatures in the high 90s, but they have like an excessive heat warning. It's not been like pleasant to just sit outside. I'll tell you that, no matter what hour. But so Aaron raised up here with nines. Andy gonna flat call here on the cutoff. Man, you gotta shove. I am kind of surprised Andy doesn't shove there with this stack. I'm playing for chips if I'm in that spot, and he's gonna get bluffed off this hand. Unless he's the one to be able to bet it last act. Goes check, check, and check. And a 6 of hearts. Aaron will the only play with a heart in his hand and may compel him to bet. Does check. And a 3. So Andy technically has the best hand if we go to showdown. Aaron could bet though and take it down and will not. And we'll flip it up. Pair of 10's good.
Oh, you said tens. My bad. I thought you said 10.
Ethan says, try digging in Austin. You need dynamite just to dig a mailbox post. That is correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna raise.
You need like an industrial strip. And that's why I've noticed here people generally turn their
That's exactly what I was
garages
thinking. I was like, I'm gonna bet, but I
into
was like,
sort of like what you would a
have to
basement.
have one of those,
And then that's the
right?
part that
Otherwise,
sucks. Like
I
if you
was
live in a residential neighborhood, you have like 12 cars parked outside because you use like the cave, use the garage as like a man cave. I don't think that's everybody, but I see a fair amount of it. That because you don't have that kind of man cave element in the basement, like kind of do in the Midwest and other areas, here's that garage territory for that, and I think it's pretty badass. All right, next player that gets eliminated here in fifth place, $250. Fourth place, $675. Third, $890. Second, $1,255, and first, $1,880. Aaron, the only one to connect here on this flop.
Check. Bet 18.
Now Johnny going to bet in position and just going to be able to pick up the chips.
I've got a range for that. That hand didn't belong.
See, Terry Hatcher down to just under 7 big blinds. 7 or 8 big blinds. She's able to pick up the pot here with increase her chip stack by about 25%.
Never doing it with that combination of cards. So
Blinds and antes really start to kick in here at this point. You start to feel it if you're not sitting real deep. Terry here with some queens. Here we go. There's a hand he can shuffle it. Boom. Right in the middle. Now 3 deuce is not going to be calling. See if we can find a hand that's going to look up Terry here. Aaron might think about it. There's a lot of King X or Queen X that could definitely jam here. As we see, one queen is folded by Andy. Aaron kind of has to call here. And it's correct too, but you know Terry's got a hand. So here we go. Queen still good. There's a straight draw coming. And we'll fade it. A double up here for Terry Hatcher. Here we go. So now we're going to be up to just about an average stack here of 176K.
with an ace there, why not?
So who's next? Who's going to be fifth? Yeah, somebody in the chat brought that up. Yeah, Andrew Vadine says the jump from fifth to fourth is kind of big. Yeah, that's about a $425 difference. I don't know if that's necessarily playing into anybody's head here at this point, but Aaron with a correct decision, though. I mean, he was way behind technically, but Terry does not have to have a premium hand to shove there. There's a lot of King X, Queen X that absolutely moves in five.
Oh my God, that's the second time I've done that. So I see one, see two.
Raise up here by Aaron. Gonna go ahead and take some blinds.
He was just trying to get some of them back.
Don't forget to click subscribe, turn on notifications. We've got all the streams of the world here for you this week. We're covering 5-5 Uncapped Monday, Thursday's 1-3 match of stacks, Saturday Pot Limit Omaha, Sunday Tournament Final Table. Everything underneath the sun here on TCH Live. You can leave us a comment here in the archive as soon as this finishes. Terry with about, well, no, I said average stack, and I was wrong on that.
Yeah.
15 big blinds is not a bad position to be in, though. So get one double up, and you're sitting really good here. Aaron, though, with a lot of chips, I'm going to raise up here to 22K. And Terry here with some fives and moves in. Now Johnny Guan here with ace jack. He might think about jamming here. He could come back right over the top, and he could freeze Aaron out of this pot if he wants. I don't know, Aaron could get really sticky and maybe decide to call too. I mean, he's absolutely calling this, but fortunately for Carrie, she is way behind. Gonna need a flop of 5 to survive.
No, you did.
Flop turn or river is a turn of 7, and that is it for Terry. Finishes here in 5th place. But back-to-back final tables made it,
What is 4th kid?
I believe, chopped last weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Then you have to fold, right? If I say all in,
I was dealing towards the end, so I should remember this, but
what do you do there with ace jack?
You got ace jack?
Come on, hold
yeah, chopped the tournament last week, and then finishes here in the final 5. So our hats off to our friend Terry there.
Oh, but if you were heads up.
Now
and
down
calling,
here
so
to
you're-
four-handed.
It's in there, I snap,
I
right?
mean, Aaron way out front.
Now it's like,
Yeah.
I can easily be dominated.
Oh, so
Yeah, you don't have to expose yourself.
But any one of these players, if they knock each other out, would be
Say again.
sitting neck and neck
You
here
don't
with
have to
Aaron.
expose yourself.
So if we
to
get a
that
bust
risk,
out,
right? Like even if I end up folding,
eye on that. 'Cause
What if I just call them?
oh then that's silly.
That's it.
Because you notice he
If I
always
just call
jam.
and you call, I'm shipping the ball. So it doesn't really, you won't see the turn. So I say raise.
I thought he would jam.
It's like a super premium show. It's like,
well, Andy's got a couple of aces, so see if he gets any action here.
Were you trying to
That's mine,
call
that's
or
mine.
what? I don't know what just happened there, but is that going to be considered a raise?
So Aaron
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't
had
raise,
raised
'cause it was
pre-flop.
small, So yeah, he can raise it small like that.
It's the under the gun four-handed, so small blind folds as make our way back around the table here to CJ here momentarily. Okay, Johnny folds his hand. Aaron is going to call the 3-bet, so he's got a mystery hand. We'll ask him to rescan it. Raise the yeah, that sounds about right. Flop is going to miss Aaron as Andy way good as probably should be shoving here. Check, shove, all in, fold. Vegas Aviators, TCH get a lot of PLO action depending on the day. It is just often, it just takes 1 or 2 or 3 players to get the table going and we'll get a 1-2-5 game. Primarily it's been no limit between 1-2 and 1-3. At our peak, absolutely. I think every poker room's kind of dealing with a new reality here at this point. The 1-3 games have still been fantastic here. There's still been great action. Plays much, much bigger with that match the stack option. And Pop Limit Omaha is very, like, some days it goes, some days it doesn't. Best thing to do is just try to get a list started early so you can give the maximum amount of time for players to get a list built. All right, four-handed poker here, boys and girls.
50 for 4th, I think I said.
Fireman Scott coming down. Plenty of action. What's going on, Mike? What's going on here, Fireman Scott? We had a good time here.
Yeah.
The
But I know
booth
for sure
for
650.
PLO. We did like 7.5 hours of PLO action. Melted my brain. So many hand combinations, so many big pots, so many just monster hands. Had a lot of fun with our friend Fireman Scott out of Houston. And I think bringing some of his pals and some of the Houston locals. Hopefully get the great game going yet again. Johnny here with Ace Queen. I'm gonna get no action. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe here to Fireman Scott's vlog. The only PLO vlogs out there. Apparently subscribe to his TikTok. Like, he's got poker TikToks happening all the time. That's not my style. I still have not given into TikTok yet. That's... I mean, I'm just not cool enough. I don't think that's... I've always made the joke. Just be an adult and get Snapchat. Let's... All right, 4 players. Next player to be eliminated will take home $675. Third is $890. Second, $1,255. First, $1,880. Not a bad chunk of change here for a $150 tournament.
Oh, I love playing against you.
Obviously, I love playing against him too. There were a couple times over the last 2 games I've been playing with him. He gives me, this is what I kind of observed. He gives the impression that he's like super loose and when he's playing like.
CRV Pips Aaron has been active.
I actually came across like when he gets big, he's actually.
I think the player playing the most correctly out of a lot of these situations. CJ's played pretty well too. Johnny has been like. He's been I don't know how to describe his game, but I have liked the decision. Andy has been fine. I think my grade gets knocked down for him because he folded jacks on the bubble to Johnny who had ace jack, and it's just like it still makes me kind of squirm a little bit, but yeah, that is the way it should go. So Johnny Wong gonna shove all in. Aaron had raised up to 27K. And 4-handed ace-jack suited becomes a lot bigger, but decides he's not going to gamble half a stack here. Going to pick a better spot. Really nice fold there. Fireman Scott says, I mishold them. Now this has got to be an imposter. This can't be Fireman Scott. Mishold them. Unbelievable. No, we tease, of course, but...
Sure of that. You don't ship a second place stack yet.
Guys, you're having a fantastic weekend. Thank you for joining us here on TCH Live. Make sure to hit the like button, click subscribe.
So he's raising every hand, or is it just like...
Wait till you guys are in the blind.
Every time he has 2 cards.
He raises, I feel like hurt.
Johnny gonna raise here, min raise with blind 6,000, 12,000 with a 12,000 big blind ante. And gonna put in the re-raise here actually.
He folded. Sorry.
One of our first re-raises on a button steal is, there you go, Aaron.
No, you're good. That's what I was telling you, so you didn't have to.
Just give it back and forth there, right?
Yeah, my name is Mike Youngblood. We've got Carolyn producing, super team here. If you want to contribute to the program, there's the super sticker and super chat function. If you're in the chat, you can see a dollar symbol there. Make a donation to tip the stream. Support my beer budget. That's what I always say. Like, hey, people want to buy you a beer. Like, that's one way to do it. Bob says in last WSOP I folded aces to 2 all-ins, 3 from the bubble. That's got to be a really gross feeling.
Like, look at the next guy.
Yeah, that's... What's going on, Eugene? Yeah, you can probably see if you play our PLO free roll on Friday.
What about your lowlights?
Say what?
So you're gonna watch all your highlights? I said,
Got
what about
Aaron
your
raising
lowlights?
here from the small blind. Pretty hefty size raise, but I like it.
You're gonna look back and go down. What I call that?
And get Andy to fold these big blind plus ante. So
Yep.
yeah, yeah, if you're in the WSOP main event and you're like 1 or 2 from the bubble, like I could see it. it's probably the worst feeling in the world to have to do it. If your intention is to make the money, especially like it makes sense if you're satelliting in and there's just you're making a pretty significant pay jump from your investment. That it's just like make sure you guarantee yourself the amount that multiplies your buy-in. I've not been faced with that situation, so I'm not going to be one to judge you. And say that was a bad move. Like, man, I've never been in that position. I can't imagine how sick that must feel. Bob says one of the guys flopped the flush and would have taken me out. So there you go. You knew it was the right decision. Yeah, we're almost at 10K subscribers. It's gonna take. It may not take us long if you help us get the word out, though. Share the links, smash that like button. It helps us get into recommends. Check out our highlight reels. 3 streams per week now with the tournament final table and our 2 streaming cash games, plus our Saturday one. So we're getting extra busy here.
Speaking of all in, all in. Yeah, it's like
CJ gonna shove all in here out of the big blind as Johnny completed from the small with ace-8, and Johnny would be ahead if he calls. Would be just over a coin flip. Yeah, I'm surprised he's played it this way. Like, it's like if your intention was to trap, then well, you've got the right position to be able to do it. Whereas he can't fold here, can he? It just it wouldn't make much sense. 5-handed, sure. 6-handed, sure. But I think once you're down to 4-handed, this becomes a much bigger hand that
100%.
you'll take the variance associated with it.
You should have king.
And he's going to fold. I am actually, that's, yeah, it would have been interesting to see if he hit pre-flop a raise, say up to like what Aaron was doing, like say 37K,
I was waiting for
and
any,
then
high
CJ
card.
moves in, because then you're, well, okay, so
Yeah, I was just
would have
waiting
been
for
like
any
another 120K
high
on
card
top to
at
call that.
I'm
What if you
full. Not jam.
Well, hold on to his chip positions. CJ, Andy, both under 20 bigs.
Calls, I
Max saying just shared with my poker group of 100 peeps trying to keep Iowa poker alive. Let's go.
was just,
I am,
have to make
of course, from the great state of Iowa, so need to keep Iowa poker going. So when I come back, I've got a game to play. It's tough. It's probably a lot tougher to find a game, much less a good one. Whereas here in Texas, it feels like you can always step out your back door and probably find somebody playing a game somewhere.
Just like 50, 60, 40, 50.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a little bit too much.
And my king was somewhat connected, so.
It was a little bit too much for me to make the, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In the 6,012 with a 12,000 big blind ante.
162, yeah. Thought I could sign it, you know.
You guys doing okay? You all right? You hanging in there? You happy with life? You hanging on here in this pandemic? Treating yourself good?
Aces? Did you fold an ace? Did you fold an ace? Alright, so I still have 3.
All right, so we have got an all-in here. Aaron here with 9, CJ with ace-5 suited. 9's still way good. Still good, and 9's good. Here for Aaron as we are down to our final 3. Well done, though, by CJ. He came in as one of the low stacks here this final table. Grinded his way, played very well, and will take home $675 for his efforts today.
And number 3, congrats.
So we're down here to our last 3. Johnny, Andy, and Aaron.
Well,
Jonathan says, Mike, you should stream and commentate on some of these WSOP final tables. They go so quick, like 15 minutes. I'll leave it to those folks that do it enough as it is. I mean, if one of the networks had asked or something like that, I would be more than interested. But I mean, I'm kind of one of those people that, like, once I walk out of the door of this place, unless I'm playing somewhere, I'm just kind of putting poker on the wayside and spending time with my doggy and trying to feed my head full of knowledge or Lord knows what else. But yeah, I have not gotten into that. I'm in a mood to live stream stuff beyond, like, yeah, hey, this show is fantastic enough for me. Though I would say, like, I would be more free to talk about what I want to talk about on some of these streams too, and not enrage half our chat that, oh, you say that? You're ignorant. No, that's not what I said. All kidding. If I love you guys, I might not always agree with you on everything, but, like, we've got to learn to be able to coexist even if we disagree. Still like a person and not totally go with everything they're saying. I try to keep that mentality for everybody. All right, and the queen here on the turn is no players paired up. Johnny will be the first one to take a stab at it. And we'll Aaron's going to try to bluff catch and actually gets there on the river. Now there are 3 clubs that come out. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to get a value bet here if he thinks his opponent's got a 10 or queen. Yeah, he's definitely going for the value bet here. Not afraid of the flush or straight combos. I mean, if any of you guys want to stake me here on the any of those online sites or something, like I would probably be along with Twitch streaming, stuff like that, but while I play it, that seems like fun to do. Like, let's see, dude talking in live and living color. I think my online username at Black Chip Poker was Detlef Shrimp. Literally Detlef Shrimp, the former Seattle Supersonic. Kind of misplaying on that account, but I don't know about you. I'm going ready to watch that I'll Be Gone in the Dark documentary that's on HBO. So it happens late at night. I already got a shove here by Aaron, a fold by Andy. That's what I'm looking forward to. That has been some incredible television. Jonathan Schalchlin says TCH Stream is the GOAT in finding the best sandwich shops or strip clubs in the Midwest. I don't even know if we did strip club recommendations. I know we talked about sandwich shops and things like that before, but oh yeah, I think we did dabble on a few locations and things like that. So, all right, final 3. $8.90 for third, $12.55 for second, $18.80 for first, 33 entries, $4,950 in the prize pool. Ricardo was knocked out 8th, Amit was knocked out 7th, Colby Jack was knocked out 6th, Terry Hatcher was knocked out 5th, CJ was knocked out 4th, and here we are. Don't forget to hit the like button, click subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you get a message on your phone. Hey there, buddy. TCH is live.
Tell me your name again, bro.
Get there. Go there right now.
Yeah. Well, you told me that before, but I just forgot. And what's your name, bro? Andy? I'm Aaron. Yeah, you too.
Andy's been a little cold carded here as of late. This could spell some trouble here as you've got ace littles blind on blind. Oh, don't overplay this one, Aaron. I think calling is absolutely fine. Raising's not bad. And gonna call pre-flop here, so here we go. Small blind versus big blind. Heads up. And a good flop here for Johnny as he flops a nut flush draw on bottom pair. And I think his bet will chase out Aaron immediately. Yeah, okay. Ethan, if the door girl is hotter than the dancers, that's a good club. I guess. I'm not a big club guy. I've been to 6 straight here like 5 times in the 5 years I've been. Rainy straight a handful of times. I've not gone to the domain too often. Obviously now it's not like the ideal time to be going to bars to begin with, so you know, I have no idea when I will step foot inside. I'm just very much a guy, like, if I want to go somewhere to have a drink, it's to watch a game, sit up at a bar, get something good to eat, and, you know, have a couple IPAs, and if need be, get a Lyft or Uber home. Like, I'm 35, so my desire to go on a rampage out on 6, it's just not what it was when I was in my 20s and totally motivated to go meet chicks, man. It's just, I don't know, that time has passed for me. All right, 3 of a kind 9s here for Aaron. It's a gin flop and everybody else misses. Thanks for On the Run donating $2. It says pizza rolls. Pizza rolls. That's not like an acronym for something else. Appreciate it. If you want to get a special shout out here on the air, show your support for TCH Live, use the super sticker, super chat function. Yeah. Ethan says, wait till their 40s, it'll come back. I could totally buy that. If I'm still like unmarried in my 40s, you know, that could be a very slippery slope. So, trying to meet somebody, but it's, I don't know. I'm a very complex and unique and weird person, so it's just sort of like trying to find someone in the right spectrum on the same wavelength that like your weirdness lines up with their weirdness and their intellectual capacity matches up, and that's usually I was so much more desperate in my 20s to attach myself to somebody in the 30s. I'm more like exclusive, meaning I'm just like, I'm sure you're nice, I'm sure you're a good person, but you bore the hell out of me. Like that's it's just like, yeah, I mean, and it's not an indictment on anybody, or we're all God's people here, but it's also just like, okay, like, give me a reason to be interested. All right, so we've got a raise up here by Aaron, is interested in his aces. Andy here with King 8 suited. All reasonable. And, oh, this could be bad here for Andy. He's flopped 8s and 5s. Only got about 122 back, so I could see him going check shove here. Oh, wow, it goes check, check. Sneaky, sneaky check there by Aaron. Aaron, you did not mess up, son. You got him in. Drawn pretty much dead to 2 8s. And a 4 on the end, and Aaron gonna knock out Andy here in 3rd place. Good showing there by Andy, though. Finishes the day with $890.
That's right.
Again, this is on delay, about 15 minutes or so.
Said you got fourth last week and we're trying.
As we go heads up between Aaron and Johnny. Aaron was my pick here early on. As
We started 1, 2, and chips, right?
seen him play enough, and now this guy knows what he's doing.
Final table first and second and chips.
Yes, exactly.
Good shit.
Justin C. Hey, commentator, that person exists. Yeah, I'm sure. I have no faith. I mean, I have plenty of faith. It's just kind of like, I always figured the less I think about it, the more that moment may arrive. Versus like when I was in my 20s, I was just like fixated on it, man. Like I gotta get it together. And then it's, yeah, get to your 30s, and it's like, man, you know what? I'm pretty good. I got my dog. I got my place. Why the hell do I need a girlfriend? Dog never disappoints me. Never tries to give me attitude. Never have to worry about him getting out of line. All right, so we got the top pair here for Johnny. The bottom pair for Aaron here, heads up. Bet and call here on the 6-high board. So ace on the turn is Jonathan Lake says, you guys have saved me. I am a non-sleeping poker lover over in Edinburgh, Scotland. I love it. Now bet a 40 here by Aaron. Goes ahead and leads it. Got a bet and a call. As Aaron, looks like actually it's Andy that shoves. I don't know if Aaron. Oh yeah, Aaron goes ahead. Okay, this is what happens. We got Aaron mixed up with Andy and Johnny. So Johnny shoves the river. Aaron folds. So Nick from Yuma, pets never talk back. Oh, they do, just in their own way. Okay, Nick from Yuma, heads up, by far the weakest part of my game, and I need to work on it. I would say for like heads up when it's not severely deep stacked, it's not. I struggle to see where. Berkey has said like heads up poker has been the only one that's really been solved, so I don't feel like I'm ever bad at it, or I feel like, oh my god, I'm outclassed. It's just, you just sort of accept that there's variance there and take the plus and EV advantages where you can get them. That's. I think we're trying to figure out the position here with the button. That gets kind of tricky too. As small blind is always the button, big blind is always well, the big blind. And the first card to be dealt towards. Every once in a while, like I'll just kind of, my brain will kind of trip over that point. It's like, wait a second, that happens here as a dealer. Sometimes the very simplest of things you can kind of trip over. All right, Johnny Guan shoves all in here with ace-4. Aaron had to raise down the button with queen 10. Was not going to gamble with it, so. Aaron is in kind of a position where he can be a little bit more selective. That he can take a lot of small jabs. He does not necessarily need to gamble for a ton, though that would have been about 50-50 in that spot. I mean, he can wait this out a little bit and maybe see if he can pick Johnny off while he's drawn really thin. So, yeah, I don't dislike the fold there. That's not in the slightest.
Somewhere around 4 or whatever.
It's 275, so yeah, we'll be a little over 4.
Okay, alright. Yeah, I've got like 8, not 9, something like that.
You're going to take it down here with the king deuce suited.
Yeah.
You're on TCH Live. Well, keep it moving here. Get to hit that like button if you're just tuning in. Nick from UMS, if I like queen 10 of clubs there with a big stack is worth a call. It's not a bad call if he were to make it in that particular spot. But I think when you have the chips like you do, you don't necessarily. I think if Johnny has a lot less, if he maybe has like 50K less, like then doubling him up's not going to be, not nearly as bad in that spot. And gonna see bet here as Johnny Gwant. I mean, this is the thing. He's got a skill edge. Johnny's a good player too, but he's, I think Aaron's got a skill advantage on him that he does not necessarily need to gamble in a spot where they're gonna see it. So there you go, Nick. There's some tournament heads up tips for you to help you align your thought, because there's just more that goes into just like, well, I have X hand and there's an all in. There's just like, okay, do I feel like I'm going to be able to bluff this opponent later if we tangle up in other hands, or is it very loose or passive? Like, am I going to just get shoved on a lot that I'm going to have to take my chances with at any random point? So yeah, that would be a good solver question. If queen 10 is like a good call there. Good one to ask Berkey or Matt Hunt or any of the solve for Y guys.
You're already ready.
Just kidding.
All right, here we go. Johnny with ace king on the button. Aaron just north of $1 million. And tournament chips. A limp on the button, though. Ooh, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. And he'll check his option. And gonna flop top pair here for Aaron. Alex said, why are they counting chips? They're likely counting it just to confirm all the numbers. Here for the action tracker. I'm just doing a double check on that to make sure the numbers were correct. As Jedi Masters Ted said, see y'all Thursday. I'm on the list. Yes. Always a good game if we get Jedi Master Ted in. All right. Check and check. Queen here on the end. See if Aaron checks to induce the bluff. Nope, Johnny's not going to fall for it, and he'll show it. Flipping on over 10s and 5s, the queen, way good, because Johnny may have saved himself some chips there had he pre-flop raises. He had raised pre-flop, bet the flop. He certainly wasn't going to get Aaron to fold.
Now listen to those little voices.
But he probably would have picked up the pot had he put up a big raise pre-flop. So Albert will probably be there too. Albert Padilla, we'll see you there. All right, Queen 10 versus Jack 10. Aaron on the button, first act. Now John is going to shove. Aaron will lay it down.
What about a horde of crazy girls? say no now?
Go in the booth and say that.
Let's keep it moving here. Heads up. Second will take 1,255. First 1,880. Johnny gonna limp the button here. 10-4. Pretty much everything becomes playable at this point. That Aaron gonna go ahead. Jam. Yeah, nice decision by him right there. Just says, okay, if I could just shut up my opponent. And that can really build on as a heads-up match circulates. Let's see if Aaron gets a tingly spidey sense if he sees Johnny Guan raise. Or excuse me, just limp on the button per se. Yeah, you gotta pick your spots there. All right, 7-4 versus Queen 4. Yeah, another pre-flop raise will pick it up. So just chipping away at it. All right, here we go. So 8,000, 16,000, 16,000 big blind ante. All right, the old Jack 6. Pretty much anything is reasonable to raise with pre-flop on the button, but it's just a matter of what you do following after that matters. And correct shove here by Aaron. Correct fold by Johnny. And it just can't seem to get any momentum here heads up. Is that true they've already chopped, or is that just somebody blowing smoke up
It is always.
Ryan said they chopped already. Now they are playing for the title. Cry laughing emoji. I don't think so. No, that is fake news. That is fake news, Ryan. That is fake news. I mean, they did. There was an actual deal that was done six-handed to pay out the fifth place. Took a little bit off out of each prize and made that at $250. Originally, it was just going to pay the top four, so we added the fifth. But took $100 off first and nearly like close to 100 out of second.
That seems like a very good deal.
Really enticing offer.
This one's yours, bud.
Here we go. Aaron gonna fold his option here on the button. So exciting! I know you guys are riveted by this. Been all sorts of twists and turns of phrases and folds, and good time to ask any questions. Preferably one that will not stir up half the chat. I mean, tried that earlier. Try to take a sidebar. Then we had the folks from West Texas get angry, and that is.
You just got too big of a small blind. You're only 8 there, dude.
Oh, my bad.
And that's not always as fun as it sounds. Believe me, it is fun to get people riled up and pissed off, but in the face of truth. But I don't like doing it to y'all. All right, here we go. We might have a moment here. Fours versus ace-9. Johnny's going to limp. And here comes the raise all in and a call. Classic coin flip. A pair of fours versus ace-9. This would be a very big double up for Johnny if he can get it. Aaron trying to fade it, and he will not. Ace on the flop. 8 on the turn. He needs a 4, and not going to get it. Johnny has doubled up. But Aaron's still with a more than 2-to-1 chip advantage here at this point. Those gonna, yeah, he'll be sitting with about 472,000. And I don't think these guys will do a deal, but if say Johnny gets closer to being even, maybe they might consider a chop, but Aaron still has a pretty nice advantage on him. So nice hand there for Johnny.
Nice hit.
Pretty standard heads up.
Oh, of course.
For one call.
Don't forget to hit the like, click subscribe, turn on notifications. We do the tournament final table on Sunday. We do the 5-5 on cap game on
Oh, you're right.
Monday, and then Thursdays are 1-3 matches stacked, and we do have our special event or PLO on Saturday here on TCH Live.
What was it? 270? Two what? Did this hold?
270-ish hit.
We have Fireman Scott back here for it. I saw him in the chat. I don't know if he's chasing around one of his babies, his kiddos, dogs.
35.
All right, Aaron here with a pretty sizable raise to 35K.
What do you want there, buddy?
Johnny here with the old Jack 7 offsuit.
35?
35.
Yeah, gonna call. Here we go. Heads up. Well, they each get a piece. Aaron with bottom pair, Johnny with top pair, and a gut shot straight draw to a 10. Gonna go ahead and bet it. See if Aaron decides he wants to take one more card here. And an ace here on the river. A flip in a 50K river bet. You're by Johnny. Can't see Aaron calling here unless he can he can figure out a 10x combo. I mean, there were no flush draws when he came out betting on the turn, so could he value bet a 9? Could he value bet a jack? He could absolutely value bet an ace, but it's just like it's pretty polarized as to whether or not in comparison to Arizon's hand, like it's. There's plenty of 10x combos that he is in front of, but kind of based on how he's played it, pretty reasonable to assume that he's up against the bigger pair. And up to 8,730 subscribers. Keep it going, guys. Click subscribe. Turn on notifications. And as always, check off on that to-do list to hit the like button. Do your patriotic duty. And hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up button for America. Ben Ball, is there a big blind ante heads up? Absolutely there is. Maybe kind of hard to see from the vantage point. All right, this is a good time of the broadcast for everybody to check in. Let us know where you're watching from all around this world. We had somebody, a late nighter, watching in Scotland. Sorry for that accent. I know the Scottish are very proud people. But yeah, go ahead and let us know where you're watching from, whether it be here in Austin, Texas, or around the world. Stop on in the chat, say hello.
750, something like that. So,
Nick from
yeah,
Yuma, Connecticut.
I think I might have you covered by
Yeah, you still got me by like
Alex, California.
pretty close.
Ethan's at my apartment. Sure to turn the AC off when you leave. Do not want to pay extra on the energy bill, so just via Nevada. Daniel in Indiana. Hoosier. Nowhere, Pennsylvania. And for Andrew. All right, Johnny Guan will check. Here on the King 7-7 board. This could very well pick up the pot here for Aaron if he bets. Brian Johnson in South Dakota. Of course, Brian Johnson, the legendary lead singer of AC/DC. All right, Wade from San Marcos, Eric F. and Newton, Mass. Newton, Mass. Queen 10 now. After calling the flop, that turns the open ender to 5, gets there. And we'll lead at it. The intention was to be a bluff, but he technically did have the best hand. All right, we got Allentown, Pennsylvania for On the Run. Ryan in Pensacola, Florida. In No Poker, North Carolina. Jedi Master Ted Breaker in 35. Terp KM says Morocco. Greetings from Morocco. Waxahachie for Tyler. Thornton, Colorado. Again, we're pinning this all up in this giant map here in the TCH Live studio. I needed to have somebody check in from Alaska and one from the edge of Siberia, so one corner is down. Like, I just got to get our Siberian audience more active. We love the TCH Live in Russia. Big fan of two talking.
Sorry, that was 33.
All right, Sean Watts from Arizona. Lawrence here in ATX. All right, Aaron here with the 9 Triz. The 9 Triz of diamonds. He's got to be the favorite coming in, even though Johnny's got King Jack. All right. Gut shot here for Aaron. King high. Backdoor clubs for Johnny. And position as he go check and check. There you go, 8 ball. The old 6 to 10 straight here for Aaron.
Bet 36. 31.
Yes. And a bet here by Johnny. Or excuse me, a bet by Aaron, a call by Johnny. And a 10 on the end. So missed straight draw. Overcards here for Johnny. I don't think Aaron's going to be able to get any value whatsoever. Let's see. Perez. Ethan checking in from the jerk store. They're running out of you.
75.
I named my fantasy baseball team that for a number of years, and then it just kind of lost the novelty. That was great at the time. I was like, all right, I gotta evolve here. Let's see. David from Camp Humphrey, South Korea. All right. Another place that coronavirus didn't affect because people actually wore their masks. Shout out to South Korea. I will always make fun of American bullheadedness. That is the one thing we are most proudest of here in our culture is
I'll see you eventually. It doesn't really matter.
as we keep it moving here in this epic heads-up matchup between Aaron Johnny Kwan. Johnny boy. Johnny be good. An AA Ron here with the suited Queen 3 will limp the bum.
Raise. 46.
Johnny's going to raise. I'm going to ask him to scan his cards. There we go. King 7 suited. Queen 3 here for Aaron. Let's see. What do we got on the flop here? Tyler. Deal us a winner. Jack, Jack 10. Misses both. King High still with the best hand. Johnny. Gonna come out bet. Here comes Johnny.
Bet 45.
Bet of 45K, and we get Aaron a call. And pairs up his 3. Aaron now ahead. He's now ahead. He could possibly bluff catch here on Johnny. But he takes a pretty nice bet here of 80. This might be able to get Aaron to fold, as if he can't pick up a physical read here, there's a lot of hands that Johnny can try to. I mean, you can get anything from King Queen, Ace King, Queen 9, 9 8, 10x, any pair above 4s. As see, can Aaron find a call? No, he is going to give it up. William Kent from Mexicali, Mexico. Nick from Yuma says Florida, Bama Shore. It's the Gulf Shores, is that it? The Destin, Florida. There's a lot of good beach volleyball happening out there. No mood to travel any such direction.
Next hand blind.
Come on, guys, we're almost to 100 likes. That is like a goal for every single program, 100 likes on every video, and Mikey goes home happy. Otherwise, Mikey's sad. Don't make Mikey sad, make Mikey good. Be like dude. Oh, Aaron does not even get to play the dude talking, the 10-8 suited of clubs.
10,000, 20,000.
That is the Mikey super special. Aaron still has a pretty decent chip advantage.
I just want to make it easier on the dealer.
But Johnny's got some momentum.
Well, we don't have to use these, right? I mean,
That's what I'm saying. We just color them up. Yeah, it's just going to be annoying to count it out when we play big pots.
yeah, I mean, also, like,
Wow, we're getting there. Likes are piling on in.
yeah.
You might have to collect all these likes in a wheelbarrow here at this point. We're not quite done yet, guys. We're not quite to 100. So wherever you may be, take a good look at that thumbs up and you give it a press. Just give it a press. Just boom, like button hit. We can hit to 100, then I'll never mention it until the very end of the program.
Very bad.
So if you got like burner accounts, things that you troll Joe Rogan, what?
Now, that's not even.
Yeah, we
a
got
big
Daniel
one.
coming on
That's
in, dealer.
You're like, 2.5 blinds.
I'm pretty crazy.
2.5 blinds.
Sorry, it might be difficult.
I don't know what else you guys use YouTube for, but
My hands feel like, fuck that guy. They don't know.
No, we don't have to worry about
you guys have been enjoying all of our program.
That's
Just
fine.
continue.
Whatever.
Appreciate the love. We love you guys. We do this for the fans. But yeah, now I guess we do have even stacks. My bad. I spoke too soon. Here I was thinking Aaron had a little bit more than what he did, but Johnny has done a terrific job whittling away at this. And here comes the raise. JTN says hi from Toes.
You don't need to pull up on
excuse me, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I need some water or something. Hello. Don't forget to hit the like. Click subscribe. Turn on notifications. And we have streams on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays here on TCH Live. TCH Live. Sunday. Mega Stack Freezeout every Sunday. 30K starting stack chips. 2 p.m. starting time. And non-stop action. See, if I retire from this, I'm just going to go straight into monster trucks. It's really the natural progression here from poker to monster trucks to golf commentating. What other divisions could I branch out to, guys? Well, we got Aaron here with a 10-8 suited. A shove here by Johnny, and a fold by Aaron, who did not mess up, son. This is poker, I guess ASMR. Just start doing ASMR videos on YouTube. Doesn't even have to necessarily be about poker, just... It should be like one of those things that you can visualize. Like I'll put like a GoPro camera on and just hear me shuffling chips. You're running really good. Your reads have been perfect. You've been picking off bluffs and folding worse hands. Everything is good. Your poker future is bright. You will not get 3-outed if you shove here with ace king. Like, just to, I think I could definitely build some ad revenue off of that. That is. Jonathan says NPR. Yeah, I would love to be the guy that goes from monster truck announcing to NPR. That would be shockwaves through that audience. All right, Johnny Guan here with top pair. Aaron's got second pair, no kicker. 3 flush here on the board. He's compelled to call. Here's a small bet and a 10 on the end. Nick from the US says they go into fortune telling. Start reading like I went to one fortune teller one time. I did in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Like, I drove by it every day for so many years. And I'm like, okay, I have to stop in here at least once and see what the hell what people are doing here. So I got, like, my palm read. And I think they did, like, tarot cards. It wasn't really anything groundbreaking. I wanted to believe me, but... Yep, that is right. Johnny is our new chip leader. Johnny be good versus Aaron.
Yeah, you've been getting the better of them.
See how this goes here. Is Aaron going to limp on the button? Going to get an option checked by Johnny? They both seem like pretty good dudes, so. Do not know what Johnny has. But he's going to check over here to Aaron. Okay, 8-4, so. Bet fold. Nick from you, this is why making a deal even with a significant chip lead isn't that bad. Yeah. I don't necessarily. It's always kind of relative to the blinds. Like if it's, I think you want to play it out if the blinds aren't so high that you have ample time with a chip advantage. It's like if it really get into push or shove mode, it's just more worth it, I think. Jonathan Schleck, and I'm going to read this. Welcome to Thoughts for Your Thoughts. I'm NPR Mikey. Today we talk about the best golf courses in the great state of Dakota. Well, if you've not tried Red Mike yet, then what are you doing? Get out to Red Mike. The place that made Mikey very red with anger with how many golf balls he lost throughout the day when he was a young 17 years old. All right, Queen 4 versus 10-9. And a bet of 40 here by Johnny as they both missed the board. Maybe Aaron goes for the check raise here. It wouldn't be terrible with backdoor clubs, but not going to leave it a chance here as we'll give it on up. Thoughts for Your Thoughts here on NPR TCH Live. This is, of course, brought to you by your local independent bookstore. Just trying to think of what would be an NPR related book that they would recommend. On the state of the environment, there's a Jane Goodall biography. Oh yeah, Stephen McIntyre. You need to have your mouth way close to the microphone if you're going to replicate NPR. So if NPR was doing commentary here. Alright, we got Johnny Guan here with 9s. Aaron with Jack 5 suited. Johnny's got the momentum. And a shove here with the 99ers. And all right, so 1,880 for first, 1,255 for second. Johnny has got the advantage now as Aaron was sitting at about $1 million in chips. Have 1 point, and
You're just gonna keep getting hands, huh?
Johnny's just been rearing back.
Ace high, king high there.
Yep, the folks in the chat looking for the Yeti hand of the night, the cooler. Be here Sunday for Thoughts on Your Thoughts on TCH Live. Ooh, we got 4 down voids. Some very butthurt people about statues there. How dare you disagree with me? I've lived long and hard to have my bullheaded, dumb, wrong opinions. All right, my apologies, guys. The Daily Coffee Grind by Alex Terzaki. Ryan McLean, yeah, you're right, sorry. It looks like too many Coronas there for Nick from Yuma. Nick or Ethan, why aren't the cash bricks stacked up on the table? I would love to do that with just like $1 bills, but I think that would be kind of annoying for our cage and our floor to have to do just to get me to laugh. It would be a great effort, though. All right, we got Aaron here with Queen 9 suited. Here we go. And Johnny Guam with the 7-3 offsuit.
Yay.
Glad I can make you guys laugh. There's enough out there to, get you down. Enough you have to question. You can always count on your Uncle Dude Talking to give you the truth. Yep, that's right. Remember to hit that like button or you'll turn NPR Mikey into Red Mikey, the tilted teenage. I mean, that was in like Ray, North Dakota. I played it once with my uncle, and my uncle laughed at me all day because I was just so tilted.
Yeah.
We got an ace 5 and a raise.
So good.
I miss my uncle. He had the card sense in our family. My dad did not. So I inherited whatever it was that he had, his kind of sense of humor. But he was like my hero, and he passed away way too soon. So during the summer times, we'd make a trip to, he lived out in Montana, so we would meet around the Dakotas or Canada to go fishing, golf. Ah, those were the good old days. All right, so what do we got here? Queen deuce versus queen six. Jonathan says Mike kills me when he's dealing the table. I'm sorry about that, man. That sucks. I'm everybody's favorite dealer or least favorite dealer. You either run really bad or really good. All right. Bet a 20 here for Aaron. Ben Ball, do you ever bring your dog to the booth? His name is Duncan. I thought about it today. I didn't quite get enough time to gather up and get the bed ready, so just like, dude, you gotta go in the crate. I'll be back. Hang tight. I put on TCH Live for him, the PLO edition. It's good sleeping stuff for a dog. He just doesn't really quite understand equity advantages. Try to teach it to him, but it's just not registering. How much do dealers make there at TCH? We make good. It really depends. I don't think anybody is really struggling. Our players are treating us very good. That's what I'll say. Oh no, Mike makes me laugh. Okay, thanks, Jonathan. I think yeah. They kind of told me to shut up when I started working here. They're like, yeah, you're talking way too much. And then, now look at me. Now they pay me to talk. See, anything can happen in life. You just stick to it and you get really lucky like I did. Went from, dude, you got to shut the hell up, to, hey, dude, can you just talk for 4 to 8 hours straight and we'll pay you for it? Tides have turned. All right, 9-4 and 9-5. We've got the Dan Grimes here on the button for Aaron, and not going to give it up. Yeah, I agree, John, that all the dealers here have different personalities. You get a good mix of different folks here. All the different spin.
Just enough chips to play with you.
I think there was only, I definitely had.
So we are like 4 hours into our epic heads-up matchup between these two. No, it's not been that long, but there we go. 8-5 versus King 8. Johnny Guan here with a comfortable but vulnerable chip advantage. Aaron here with King 8. Yeah, I've been known for a sense of humor. Every once in a while, I can make you chuckle here on the tables. Usually just at my own expense, so. Don't forget to hit that like button. We're 10 away. We're 10 away from 100. To keep my self-esteem attacked. Just need 10 more people to take a good look at that thumbs up button and press it. Thanks, Jonathan. 99-cent tip. And using the super sticker or super chat function. Appreciate it. All right, Queen 6 versus 9-5. Raise up the Aaron. And a call, so here we go. 110 in the middle. And Queen 4-3 top pair here for Johnny. Aaron was a pre-flop raiser, so you've got to imagine he's betting here. What do you know? He is. All right, 2 more likes, guys. 2 more likes. We're almost to 100. I can't believe I'm peddling likes, but here we are. I'm here for it, though.
Even though we were on the bubble, I lied about what I had.
99. 99. Who's going to be the lucky hundo?
I showed that one. He had jacks and pulled jacks. Getting crushed.
We appreciate your support.
When I showed the ace, I was like, oh,
Deep into our heads-up matchup. This $150 Mega Stack Freezeout. Second place, $1,255. First, $1,880. And boom, there you go. 100 likes. Therefore, I am now immortal. And it's like that Avengers dude, Thanos. That lights up the fifth crystal. Poker commentary will forever be enshrined as amongst the greatest. No, I joke. Wow, here we go. 10-9 suited here for Johnny. Aaron with some aces. Some ones, some rockets. Some Harden and Westbrook. And he's just going to call here, so going to try to trap Johnny. Let's see if he traps himself. Ooh, okay, that is not probably the board with two red aces you want to see, but there's a shove by Johnny, a call by Aaron. Johnny's going to have to get lucky, but he's got a good board to work with. And he turns two pair, needs an 8 or a queen, and he's not going to get it. Johnny has won the $150 Mega Stack Freeze out. He's taking $1,880 home with him here tonight. As Aaron finished second at $1,255. There's the Yeti cooler of the night. Aaron got his money in good. Johnny tried to play his position, shove him off the hand, got called, and that's all she wrote, folks. We're back. The $150 Mega Stack Freeze Out Sunday edition was a fun one. We thank you all for joining. Don't forget to click subscribe. And that is our game here tonight. So we will see you tomorrow night, 5-5 uncapped, no limit hold'em. Be there or be square. I've never understood that expression, but be there, join us. Appreciate the support. Good night, everybody.